Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9 o'clock and I have not had a cup of coffee today until now. I was really proud of myself. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have no caffeine today. I'm going to take a day off throughout the week. I usually don't have any caffeine on weekends. And I was like, you know what? I don't need any caffeine today. It's Wednesday. I can get through my day. Whatever. No problem. And here I am. Made it through the entire day, 9 o'clock, and here I am with a cup of coffee. Bad habit. It's a bad habit. But I love coffee, man. It's a weak cup of coffee, I should say. It's not a big cup of coffee, and it's a weak cup of coffee. But it's what I need in my life. No, actually, caffeine is such a weird thing. The thing with caffeine is it's sneakily addictive. Caffeine is a drug, and anyone that tells you it's not a drug because it's legal is out of their mind. Caffeine is a drug, and it's kind of scary. I never really used to drink coffee. I never used to drink caffeinated beverages. I'd occasionally have energy drink once in a while, but I really wasn't about that life. And then I came to university, and I think that's what happens to a lot of people. Came to university, and boom, just like that. Actually, it wasn't really just like that, I suppose. It was kind of a creeping up, and then exam time came around, and it was boom, just like that. It was literally like, here I am, doing my thing, and then exam time came. Oh my God, I gotta like grind and like focus on something that I don't care about for like 12 hours for the next like 7-8 days. I'm gonna need some stimulants. So started reaching for the coffee, and that like entire break I was just on the coffee like way too much. It was bad, and I was like, whoa, I can see this becoming a pattern. So I stopped. I was like, you know what, no, don't need it in my life. Didn't drink any like occasional cup, like maybe once every 2 weeks, till exam time came around. And that second exam time, it caught me. It caught me, and it's I'm mad at myself. Second exam time came around, and like I don't want to say I procrastinated, but I put YouTube ahead of my exams for the first couple days. So like I was going into like 2 midterms on the same day, and 2 midterms like 2 days in like 2 days. Or not 2 midterms, 2 exams in like 2 days time. So it was like, oh crap, I need to go into grind mode. So I had G Fuel and coffee. It was a lot. And I feel like that was that moment, that breakthrough moment when my body was like, we like this, we need this, give it to us. And then that happened. And then I came home for school, got sponsored by Gamma Labs, or G Fuel, a company that makes caffeinated beverages. And drank coffee, and this summer was like, by the end of the summer, I can honestly say, I felt like when I didn't have some sort of caffeine, I couldn't make videos properly. I was like, you know what, like I just feel like I don't have enough energy. I want to be like, I was like, I want to make the best videos possible, and I just felt like I wouldn't with that. So I made a decision. I said, you know what, I'm going to cut caffeine out of my life because I think it's making me tired and I don't need it. So went back to school. First week, not a drop. Actually, that's a lie. I had an iced cap and I was pissed. Iced cappuccinos have caffeine in them. Who would have thought? Obviously, I just wasn't thinking. But anyways, I consumed very little caffeine for like 3 weeks. And then classes started. And I was like, oh, I'll have a cup here or there. And then midterm started. It's like, I'll have a couple more cups here or there, and G Fuel and coffee, it's all the same. Just different kind of moods, different kind of atmospheres, different kind of taste you're looking for. And then what happened? Black Ops 3 decided to get close, and now I'm in like hyperdrive mode. Black Ops 3 isn't even out yet, and I'm squirming to find a copy and get games out early, and it's like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. This is like bad. So why am I telling this story? Well, here I sit, October 28th, 29th. This is going up tomorrow on Friday with a cup of coffee at 9 p.m. at night. Am I mad at myself? No. I'm okay with it. It is what it is. Am I disappointed? Yeah. I really, like it's this thing. I think caffeine is a drug. Like I said, I started this off. Caffeine's a drug. And that's something that you definitely have to think of. And there's people that go, like, they've never gone without a day in the last 5 years. That's really bad because when you don't get it, you're going to feel physical symptoms. And I'm glad I'm not like at that point where, like, if I don't have I don't have a caffeinated beverage in the morning, that's my thing. And this is why I feel really weird. I don't drink coffee in the morning. I don't drink G Fuel in the morning. I don't like caffeine in the morning. I'm dehydrated in the morning, and I gotta let my body rejuvenate itself with water. So I just chug water in the morning. I don't need it. I don't really feel tired once I get up, once I get out of that gravity of waking up. You know that like first moment when you wake up out of bed and it's like right that like a late early in the morning, like 7 a.m. for me, like 8 a.m. because I'm just soft. But that brief moment when you wake up and like getting up is like, it's like I literally wake up and I think I can't do this. I can't do it. Like I can't get up. I'm like, oh, but I gotta get up. So I get up and like get in the shower, come out, and I feel fine. Like I'm still a little draggy, but I feel fine. It's not the end of the world. But that first moment when you wake up is just it's like gravity is put on 100, like motivation for the day. I'm like super negative. I'm like, oh my God, like what do I have to look forward to today? In high school, it was bad, man. I don't want to say like I was really like negative, but mornings, like I wake up and like the first thing I think is, what do I have to look forward to today? And I'd be like, all right, I gotta wake up, gotta go to school, take a bunch of courses I don't like, go to football practice, which is fun, but takes up a ton of my time, come home, do homework, go to bed. That was like my life for like 2-3 months. And like, I also made YouTube videos at the time. And it was like, oh my God. And the year before I did YouTube, I worked. So it was like stupid. Like that was the busiest time of my life, which I find so crazy. Isn't this silly that like high school was like my grade 11 and 12 year of high school. I mean, I'm only 2 years out of university, were the busiest times in my life. I'm running a YouTube channel that gets over 8 million views monthly. I'm getting a business degree. I am vice president of finance for my residence building. I am an ambassador for campus tours at my school. I work out 5 times a week. And I have a social life. But it's not the busiest time of my life. Not the busiest time at all. High school, when I played a sports team, that was the busiest time of my life. Because the thing with high school, I really like looking back, high school sucks, man. High school really sucks. You're there for like 7 to 8 hours every day. And you might be smart in the class, everything might be great, but you're just, you're just waiting for the teacher to get on with it so you can learn, and you're just waiting, and it's all this inefficiencies. And you're just like, oh my God, I understand it. Or maybe you're in the middle of the class and you're like, oh my God, I don't like this, I don't understand it, the teacher isn't explaining enough for me, and you're super stressed. High school sucks because it's you take a whole bunch of people that are on the broad spectrum of various skills. Of course, school really evaluates your ability to like retain information. You have all this wide spectrum of things, and it's like, you got everyone's got to, you got to fit everyone down this one little straw, and like, some people are going to slide down nicely, some people are going to take some shoving, and you're not going to get to like the next unit until everyone's, down the ladder, down the straw. And university is so much different. And it blew my mind when I went to university for my first year, and it's like, whoa, I don't have to wake up at 7 a.m. And then it's like, whoa, I have class at 9:30 to 10:30, and then I'm off for an hour. I can go do whatever I want. Then I have to go back for an hour. Then I'm off for the day at 12 p.m., at 2 p.m. What? I'm used to playing football where I don't get off till 6:30, and then I have to go do homework. Okay, now I'm in business, which is a little bit easier than a lot of things, but it blew my mind at how much more free time, more unstructured time I had once I got to university. And honestly, that's the thing, is I gotta say, like, I absolutely love unstructured time. Like, I just don't like being told what to do. I could, if I had like a boss for my YouTube channel that wasn't me, and it was like, all right, you got to make a video today, I'd be like, screw you. I'll make a video if I want to. Don't tell me what to do. I'll do what I want. I do what I want. But because I get to choose that I make a video every day, it's completely fine, and I love it. But I think it was like, it probably like, I want to say, like, I am a person that I really like working for myself, and I've managed to make that a thing quite early in my life, which is awesome because I don't have to worry about having a boss tell me what to do. I'm really glad that I'm in this situation, and I work to get into this situation a lot. But it's really fortunate because, like, the thing is I used to work at a golf course, and this golf course was kind of like, I don't know, nice place, awesome place, but I had a crazy superior that acted like my boss and told me what to do all the time. And like, I could do a good job, and then he'd come out and be like, no, that wasn't good enough. And then he'd be like, go do this, go do that, go do that. When I know exactly what I have to do for the day, but if he doesn't tell you and tell you specifics and, oh, you didn't do it right. Like, that kind of guy that's just so precise and so ridiculous about it that it really, like, I remember being like 17 in grade 11, working there for my second year at the point, and just thinking like, I don't ever want to have a boss. Like, I don't want that kind of thing in my life. I just want to do me, and like, it's like, I hate being told what to do. So I think for me, I'm like a very like self-driven person, and I don't like being given orders. I want to call the shots for myself. So I remember even like being in like in grade 11 with like, going into grade 12 with like 200 subscribers and thinking, man, it'd be so awesome if I could make this work. Like, I had 2 YouTube channels before. This channel is like, this is like my 4th YouTube channel. I had Dude Man 185, which was a comedy sketch channel. I had Smith Vlogs, which was a vlogging channel. I had Smithy Games, which has since been deleted. That was a gaming channel for Minecraft. And then TheSmithPlays actually took off. But I remember like, my biggest channel was like 800 subscribers at the time, and at the time that was like kind of okay. That would be like having that'd probably be like having 20,000 subscribers. Maybe not 20,000, like 15,000. I'd say 15,000, 20,000 subscribers a day. This is like 5 years ago. YouTube's gotten bigger since then. There weren't many people with 1 million subscribers. Now we got PewDiePie with 40 million. Anyways, what I'm getting at is, back in the day, like when I first starting this YouTube channel, I remember just thinking in the back of my head, like, so ridiculously, like, man, I'm doing this because I like it, of course, but the work I'm putting in today, like, how thankful would the future Patrick be of the work I'm putting today if this becomes a thing that I can do this full time, or this can be my job? At the time, I didn't really think about it. I was just like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But looking back, that is such like a good mindset to have, is like, like ask yourself, is the future version of me, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, are they going to thank me for doing this? And I think that's a huge question that you ask, because it's so easy to get trapped in the now. And the now is what it is all about, don't get me wrong, about living in the present. But if you're not also looking out for future version of you, right, there's a point where you can live too much in the present. Like, if I literally was going to live in the present, why don't I just, blow every penny I have and go to Vegas and buy a bunch of hookers? That's really living in the moment of that. This is the only thing I have, and there's going to be nothing after it. So just, do reckless things. You got to plan for the future a bit, but you can't plan it too much, because that creates anxiety. And then you get caught up in what's going to happen, never really getting into the moment. So like, there's a balance of both, good balance of both. But just that thing of like, ask yourself, like, okay, like, I've got a friend who's not doing well in school, and it's like, he could do better, but like, it's like he's not trying. And it's like, okay, like, think about it. When you're 25, are you going to look back and be like, why did I drop out? I could have had a degree at 22, and although that might not get me a job, at least I'm going to have a degree. I have something that says I am capable of completing tasks that are assigned to me, kind of deal, right? In that sense, like, man, when you look at it like that, like, imagine if you were to drop out of high school today. in a few years, are you going to be like, man, why did I do that? Yes, you're going to be like, do that. So I don't know. Just like looking back, like I'm so glad that I decided to try YouTube again. Cause like I said, I had 3 channels. They never worked. And YouTube was always this thing that I really loved. I always wanted to be big, but it was just like, okay, like imagine like to any viewer that isn't a YouTuber, and even if you're like a smaller size channel, like imagine think about yourself becoming a big YouTuber, right? Think of like how insanely impossible that sounds. That's like, I shouldn't say only, that's not only me, but that's like most YouTubers. Like no YouTuber starts like, oh, I'm going to get 1 million subscribers. Nobody starts with that. But for me, I had already had 3 channels that failed hard. Like the first one had like 100 subscribers. The second one had 800. And the last one, my gaming channel, had like 50. Like it, I'd tried for like 6 years. I probably uploaded over 400 videos in total, which isn't a lot for me now, but at the time, was ridiculous. So to me, like, I feel like I kind of have a bit of a deeper perspective on what it is like to not have a successful channel. Most people I know, it's their first one, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, that's cute. You got lucky. And I'm not hating on anyone who gets lucky, because I got lucky, to be frank. I got lucky that top 5s blew up on my channel and that they were a popular thing at all. I got lucky that Lex, I knew Lex and that he told me to do them. Luck has a lot to do with it, but at the same time, luck's not the only part. It's a lot more than just luck. It's making yourself lucky. It's putting the work in. Like the more work you do, the better your odds are. If you upload 1 video a week versus 7, you have 1 chance of the week to get a video that gets seen by another subscriber. Whereas if you upload 7, you're 7-tupling your odds of getting a person to view your channel. And on a grand scale, that means a lot. A better chance of getting a viral video. You improve quicker, all that stuff. And to me, like, it just never really came about until Black Ops 2 came around. And Black Ops 2 was the moment. December 4th was the day I said, all right, 600 subscribers. I gotta take this serious. I can't mess around with this. This is, this is actually going somewhere. It's like in 4 months, I've managed to gain like as many subscribers. It took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to get 800 subscribers. So, I feel like I've been around the block a bit. And, when Black Ops 2 came out, it was like this crazy thing of, I don't know anyone in the zombies community. I don't know like anybody. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's gonna get big. But I was like, I gotta upload videos, and I decided I'm gonna upload videos every day. And up until this day, I've only missed 1 day. Like almost 3 years, I've missed 1 day of upload. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's more just kind of like an insight to like the mind of me as I sit here a week before Black Ops 3 comes out, looking at like the potential of not only my channel, but like, to be completely honest, my life. It's going to be some deep podcast stuff, but man, like, 1 second. My addiction is calling me. I don't know. I guess you could say it's kind of an addiction. I don't feel bad if I don't have it. And I can definitely go without it most of the time, unless I'm doing a podcast at 9 o'clock at night. But for the most part, I feel like I don't feel too bad about it. Anyways, it's so weird. It's so weird, like sitting here like 3 years ago. I remember I took a yoga class, and we had this thing that was like, carry a rock in your pocket, and every time you touch it, say something you're grateful for, and then think about something that you want to achieve. So when I'm grateful for, I'd be like, whatever like happens to be around me. Like, oh, I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my family. Grateful for like this meal I'm eating. Just kind of be appreciative of what you have. And then the other aspect of it was, what do you wish to accomplish? So like, oh, I want to have more friends, or I want this. And the only thing I ever thought about every time I touched it is I would imagine my subscriber count in my head going up, and I think, okay, 200, 500, 1,000, or I guess let's say I'd be at 400, so I think 437. 489, 512, 560, 612, and I think all the way up to 1,000 because that was like my goal. And I never thought 500,000. I think the highest I ever thought was 100,000, and that was maybe when I was at like 18,000 subscribers. It was one of those things where it was like, just it was one of those things that was not a thing. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just like, I don't know. It was I wanted it so bad, and like I said, just to be here like is so amazing because I like this weird thing I always had is like I used to watch the YouTube community, the Call of Duty community a lot, and to me, like I would watch all these guys and they were all friends together, like the T Martins and the OG Gold Gloves and like X Jaws and Onslaught, Woody's Gamer Tag, and FPS Kyle and Only Use Me Blade, like so many names. I think Syndicate at the time. God, there's so many, and a lot of anyways, White Boy, a lot of those old OG guys, C-Nanners, they just pop in my head. But I remember watching that whole group, that first kind of wave of YouTubers, the Modern Warfare 2 kind of era, and like, they all knew each other, and I was like, man, that'd be so cool to have a group of YouTubers that we all knew and we all hung out, and like, it's literally come full circle for me, and like, it's just the most like humbling and blessing and like fucking beautiful thing ever. There's like this Skype chat that's the 2015 Zombies community, and there's about 35 of us in it, ranging from, I think the biggest in it is Noah J at just over 1 million, down to guys that don't even have YouTube channels and just like or maybe work in the YouTube industry, or are map makers, or are just guys that are good at helping people, or just nice guys. You know what I mean? Like it's this community, and it's so weird because like I just remember like I remember hearing like, yeah, we've got this like Skype chat, we always talk and stuff, it's really cool, and I remember hearing that and being so jealous, and coming around to like actually having something like that where like like I talk with all the guys, and like I know so many YouTubers, and it's like what the hell, like how did that actually happen? You know what I mean? Because like I'm saying, it's like imagine how unlikely you would think that is for you. That's how unlikely it was for me, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't like this thing where I just started a channel, everything went great. Like it's been so many years in the making to this, and it's like it's just that complete and utter, there's no chances. Like just think, like, what are the chances that you'll become a YouTuber with 700,000 subscribers? That's like a joke. That's just so completely out of your mind, which is exactly like what it was for me for so long. And then like August last year, top fives blew up, and I'm like, all right, well, this isn't gonna last for long. And then month after month after month, like my channel just kept climbing and climbing, and then all of a sudden I'm like one of the biggest eyes in the zombies community. It's like, what the hell? Like, how did I manage this? And like I said, I think a lot of it is attributed to my work ethic and like how often I upload. Like I said, I have only missed one day in the last like 1,000 days, but at the same time, so I'm 99.9%. That's not bad. At the same time though, actually I've uploaded definitely more. I definitely sometimes do double uploads, so I'm over that, over 100%. But to me, I don't feel, to some extent I feel like I deserve it, but to a larger extent I feel so like lucky, like why did this happen to me? A little bit because I was kind of one of the only guys that stuck to Black Ops 2 and didn't really do customs, and I kind of kept it to like the maps that people know, and top 5 held, and I worked hard. But at the end of the day, man, it so much comes down to luck, which sucks. But it's kind of like a thing of, like I said, make your luck, make the luck that you want. You know what I mean? So why am I talking about all this? Why am I just reflecting on my life? And I don't know, I feel like some old guy that's like, yeah, like back in my day. Why am I reflecting on all this? Because I'm scared. Can I be completely and upright? Oh my God, I'm just trying to fix my monitor. Can I be completely and completely honest, I am terrified of next week. Black Ops 3 comes out in a week. In 7 days, I will have played the game, hopefully. I'm trying to get it early. But in a week's time, I'll be sitting here waiting to stream. In 3 hours, I will be streaming this game. I am terrified. Like, so much of everything I've put into my channel is like riding on Black Ops 3. And it's like, I think it's going to be good. There's a huge demand for it. There's huge hype. But I can't but help wonder what's going to happen on November 6th. What's going to go down. There's not a lot of people that have gotten super big from the zombies community. You know what I mean? The only guy that comes out to me is Syndicate. And, Syndicate, Tom is like, he's a very, very like good YouTuber. And other than him, like he's really the only guy that comes to mind, I shouldn't say big, but I mean like massive, you know what I mean? Like who do we have? I guess you could say, well, I mean, there's guys who are still in the zombies community, of course, like Dalek's huge. Noah J is kind of in the zombies community. I mean, he's not a full, he's not completely zombies. He does a lot of GTA and stuff like that. He's a huge guy. NGT and who's the other people? You Always Win. You Always Win has just blown up out of nowheres. But I feel like for actual, like kind of like zombies, like storyline and all that kind of stuff, or just gameplay or high rounds or whatever, like that really like zombies, like following it and like that kind of thing. Like really the only guy that to me that stands out is that's blown up and just gotten massive super quickly has been Syndicate. And like as my channel progressed, like I've kind of realized like I want to follow that in a sense. I don't expect to ever get to that size, but I've realized like zombies, it's this thing that has the potential to launch the size of my channel. And I don't talk about this like I don't want to be weird about this, but like I like to be straight up with you guys. And like it really it has nothing to do like with the money, the fame. Like fame is, I don't like, it's weird. It's very weird never being able to be alone on the internet. Like I can post on most websites now and people will recognize me. Like Reddit, I post, people be, hey, what's up? Obviously YouTube, I can get, it's weird. It's very weird. Not about that, but what I am about is becoming like I hate to say this, but like a great YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like ever since, I don't know, I think it was kind of ever since I went to PAX East last year. I had 300,000 subscribers. That was kind of when it hit me, is that this is a potential for you. And ever since then, it's just kind of been lingering in the back of my head that I want to be like, I don't want to say like at the top because that sounds really cringy, but like I want to be like a big YouTuber, and I think I'm a large size now. But like I say, like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million subscribers. Like I really want to be like, even if it's for a short period of time, I just think that would be such a unique experience. And kind of like to me, because like I've been in YouTube so long, 8 years now. It's gonna be 9 coming up. I started when I was gonna be 9 in January, I think 9 or 8. I don't know. It's a long time, and like to actually like have a shot at this and make it, like pretty large is, like I said, so humbling but so terrifying at the same time, because I don't know, I just like I never thought that my channel would ever get to any amount like I remember for Black Ops 3 I was hoping I'd get to 50,000 subscribers, 50,000, and that's a big number, but to be like 12 times that is like, what? Like, how did this happen? And I don't know. It's scary. I've kind of got like a personal goal inside my head, and it's really aggressive, but it's to hit 1 million subscribers by Christmas. And I don't think I can hit this. I really think I have to get like 5,000 subscribers a day for 2 months, which is like ridiculous growth. but I'm hoping. I'm hoping and I'm aiming a sight. And like to me, it's like I said, I'm scared and I'm nervous, because like it's like so much of my goals, my aspirations are wrapped up in this game, in this first kind of wave of newcomers into the zombies community. And it's scary, man. It's really scary. YouTube is just this thing that it's not here for a long time, but it's here for a good time. And like I'm trying to do my best and grind at it, but like I think I'm just naturally a worrier, and like things come around, and I want I want the best. I want it to last. So I worry. Oh my God, what's this? Which I think is good for me, because I realize that zombies isn't going to be as big as it's going to be in a week. It's not forever. If they make customs, that's going to help. But the zombies community is going to die at the end of Black Ops 3, and I accept that. So that's why I started a second channel. That's why I do live streams. Because it's like I'm preparing for that thing when the community comes down. And it's like, okay, got to kind of branch out. I can't just be a zombies YouTuber for the rest of my life. So like I said, I started a second channel. I saw what happens when I don't like the idea of leaving the zombies community. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I think it. I think there's branching out, and then there's completely leaving. You know what I mean? So doing new games alongside zombies is definitely something I'm open to. But it's so weird. I'm talking about this like a year away. Like I should be focusing on Black Ops 3, but I'm just talking. But like I said, it was why I started a second channel, because I want to have another channel that is, that can be kind of morphed into whatever I want. Because like I said, YouTube is this thing now for me, and I really, care about it. Like I said, like I think like YouTube is like I hate to say the most important thing, because that kind of throws family and friends under the bus, but it's kind of in a different sense. The urgency that is YouTube is like, it's like a job, right? If like there's a super important thing that like a friend or a family needed, obviously that takes precedence over anything YouTube. I'd miss a week for my family or my friends, if I had to. But it's a kind of different priority that YouTube is. It's kind of like a daily thing, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of getting over myself. I just feel like it's a week away, and there's so much potential for everything, and I don't know. I talked a lot this summer actually about dropping out, and I came back this year because you know what, like I may as well just go. Like it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna be sitting around for the first 3 months until Black Ops 3, anyways. So there's no sense, and I think this has been after the first few months here, I've kind of decided that this is what I want. Is I want to stay at school. I think getting a degree looks good on paper, but I don't think it's gonna benefit me much for the route I want to take in life currently. Anyways, like I feel like I don't know what I want to do after YouTube, but I don't have to worry about that right now. But I feel like getting a degree won't hurt me, and I sure as heck know I don't want to go out and live in LA, or even live anywhere really in the States. No offense to Americans, but I like Canada more. So for me, it's like I don't want to like move anywhere and just work there. Like the idea of just working, I work hard, but like I also want to have fun, because this is your life. That's the thing. Like work is this such weird thing that people have. I don't know if I'm just weird. I feel like people have really distorted views of work. People like work is, to a lot of people, work is like priority in your life. And that is not for me, which is weird, because I feel like I, of all people, know the value of hard work and how much time I have to put in my channel and dedicate and, forego like having fun and stuff. But work is, like work, I want to say, because YouTube is enjoyable, but it's still not the most important thing in my life. And I don't base everything or solely around that. People say, oh, I got to move out here for work. I got to move here for work. And the way I look at life, I think I feel like it's a better viewpoint, but is like, work isn't like the primary consider of like where you should live. Like you should consider where your family, where your friends. And I'm not saying everybody does that, but a lot of people say like, oh, I'm going to work here. And work is like this thing of keeping on, keeping on, and go on doing something that you may not necessarily enjoy doing, right? You work so that you can have money, so that you can continue to live. Like, if you don't get money, you're gonna die because you can't buy food, and if you don't have food, you're gonna die. You don't have shelter, all that stuff. But like, when you're working, work will take up a huge part of your life, and if you don't enjoy it, you're literally just making money so that you can continue like keeping on. And it's the most dumbest thing ever. People that they get a job and all they do is spend their money. They work and it takes up the biggest part of their life. Work becomes the aspect of your life. It's not about all that other stuff anymore. It's not about the friends. The biggest thing in your life is work, which is the thing that you don't even like. And, it's all for money. But then you get the money and you spend it. So now you don't have any money, and it's like, well, what was the point of doing that? Like, people that don't save their money are so dumb. Especially, number one, when you're actually making enough money that you can save and you're just spending it because you have money to spend. And number two, when you're making like a lot and it's not going to last for a long time. Like, I see YouTubers and they're buying, Ferrari, well, I shouldn't say Ferraris, but like crazy cars. And it's like, yeah, you might have 1 million or 2 subscribers, and you might be making like a good 6-figure income for a couple years, but that's not going to last. So save it while you can. I don't know, like I said, I just feel like I look at work differently. Like, I have a friend, and it's like he works, he gets money, and then he spends it, and then he complains about having no money. It's like, well, the problem is like, you're not, number one, you're looking at what money is wrong. Like, all money is hours of your life multiplied by your skill level, in a sense. So like, if you have no skills, you have no like accreditations, your minimum wage. So it's literally $10 an hour, at least in Canada. You make $10 an hour, and that $10, an hour of your life is worth $10, and that's it. Unless you can come up with something else and you get a degree, and now you're making a job that gets you $20 an hour. So now your life, an hour of your life is worth $20, and you get better, $50 an hour. Hour of your life is worth $50 an hour. Or you start a business and you just make like, I don't know, like 10 grand a month, and whatever time you put in is whatever time you put in. The point I'm saying is, we look at money like this commodity that we have that gets us stuff, and really people need to look at money as though this is like your life force. This is, you traded part of your experience on this planet for this piece of thing. So like, don't just go wasting it. I don't know. That's me. But like I said, I think people get too caught up in work. And I don't know if I'm being hypocritical, because like, YouTube is my work now. But the difference I see, at least for myself, is that YouTube is like my passion. It's like my thing that I love, and I love doing it. And it's like what makes me happy. Like, I if I have a rough day, it's so nice to just come home and stream and just see all these people that are super chill and cool to me. Or if I whatever, like, just it takes my mind off stuff if I have a bad day, and if I'm having a good day, it makes it that much better. So I feel like that's different than just working for money's sake. People who work for money's sake are literally sellouts. Just saying. I joke about being a sellout, but literally, if you're doing a job that you don't like doing for money, you are selling out. Just saying. I'd say it's a bad thing, but that's kind of the definition of sellout, like to go against your values and morals, to self-estrange yourself, have self-estrangement to earn money. I don't know. I don't like how people get so caught up in money. Money's a weird thing. I don't know how I feel about money. I feel like I'm in a weird position to talk about money, because I for my age, I do good enough. But like, I don't know. Money is just one of those weird things that's like, I like not have to like worry about a job and stuff, but at the same time, it's like, I feel no happier making more now than I did any other time in my life, because I'm 20, 19, about to turn 20 tomorrow. But, I feel no happier. You know what I mean? It's like less worry, I guess. I don't have to work a shitty job, but it's like I don't think money makes it better. But yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in work being number one priority, and more importantly, doing things. That's a thing that people are so obsessed with, is productivity and getting things done. How many times have you not done anything in the day and felt like a shitty person because you didn't do anything? It's such a common thing for people to say. Like, I hear people, I guarantee you I have heard it this week. Someone said, I've done nothing all day. Like, I've been so unproductive. Like, it's this abomination. And that's the way we've been programmed. I hate to say programmed, because I know I sound like some like crazy anarchist that's like, screw civilization and society and stuff. But seriously, how insane is it that, you can go a day without accomplishing anything, and you should feel bad about it because you haven't contributed, to the machine of the economy and whatever. That's not an unnormal thing to say. And, by God, if you don't do anything all day, like, you're going to think like, oh man, I've been so unproductive. Okay. There's more to life than production. And I feel like people are so wrapped up in just the act of doing. It's not even about what you accomplished, but what did you do? Like, how many hours did you put in? Oh man, I put in 10 hours on this assignment today. Great, man. I put in 2. You're not a better person than me. And that's the thing, is like, people, feel accomplished because they filled all hours of their day. Like I said, it's not even about getting it done, but oh my God, I put 10 hours in today, and I'm guilty of it, and everyone's guilty of it, feeling good about yourself because of the amount of time you put into something. No. It's not how it works. You are no better because you managed to work on something for a number of time. You had, 8 classes, you had 8 hours of class today, and you had lab and homework, and you did it. Okay, good for you. Like, you're accomplishing things, but like, you're no better because you had a very full day. And people say, oh my God, I'm so busy. We're all so busy now, aren't we? Everyone's just in this crazy rat race of, oh my God, I'm so busy. Everyone is fucking busy. Everyone says they're busy. I say I'm busy. We all say we're busy. We're busy. Oh, I'm busy. I can't do this. I'm busy. Busyness is not a facet of busyness is not required to live in our modern day society. You don't have to be busy. Busyness is a choice that we choose. We fill our days with school and extracurricular activities and all this stuff. Busyness is a choice. And there's a difference between being busy and like dead on your feet. So people will say, like, the people who say they're busy are not the ones that are working the hardest. The people that say they're busy have a very full schedule, and there's a difference. There's people that, they're working 3 jobs, supporting a kid and all this kind of stuff. You're not busy at that point. You are, dead on your feet. You can't even talk. You don't even want to talk about how busy you are because it sucks. I don't know. I've never been in that kind of a situation. But busyness is a choice. Busyness is having all hours of your day consumed by doing something. You know what I mean? There's a difference between doing and achieving. If I let's say this, me and another guy, we both do an assignment. It takes me 2 hours to do, it takes the other guy 4. The next 2 hours after I'm done it, I don't know, like, hang out and just like, just go for a walk and like enjoy nature. Obviously there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're a more efficient person, you get it done, great. If you're busy, it's because you've filled your schedule. I don't know anyone that is too busy because of just school. Yeah, you might have a lot of work, but it's because of a choice is what I'm saying, not a requirement. You may be in the IB program, the International Baccalaureate, and I know people that were really busy, like legitimately they had a lot on their plate, but that was their choice to go into that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a hard idea to articulate, but I just fucking hate people that say they're so damn busy. Okay? I am busy like everyone else. And that's what I'm saying. I am busy, but so is everyone else. And everyone's mindset, they're busy because they're the only one that's the only life that they're fulfilling day in and day out is that life right there. Like typical day for me, I wake up at, let's say, 9, go to class for an hour and a half to 3 hours, go to the gym, come home, make a video or live stream. I'll have a couple, maybe an hour or two downtime before supper, come back, work on homework, or make more videos. That's like a typical day for me. I'm busy. But you know what? Like, I could drop things if I want to, and I was too busy. I have the potential to do that, and I don't know. It's just such a weird. I don't even know why it makes me bad. I don't even know how to articulate it. But it's just like, there's just this sense of accomplishment from having all hours of your day filled up, and I hate it. I hate how people feel are encouraged to feel good because they worked really hard all day. Sense of reward, but at the end of the day, this is how I'm gonna frame it. The end of the day, you are on this planet for but a finite number of days. And when you look back on it all, you're going to realize that it was not as everything that you thought was serious is not as serious as you thought it was. And you're going to look back on the things that you enjoyed in life, not being busy. Okay, I look back a month ago. I think, all right, September. I immediately think of the fun activities I did, not the assignments and all that stuff and the busyness and the random days. You're gonna look at the things you had that was fun. And I think people in life I think it's really easy to take life too seriously, and look at life like this thing that you get so overwhelmed by what's coming at you, and just do and look into the future to try to avoid obstacles and stuff. You kind of forget what's going on around you. I went out to the bar on a day that I had stuff to do the next day, and I let my experience be ruined by tomorrow. I went to the bar, and the entire time was I just thinking, I was drinking. Drinking usually kind of puts your thoughts away at that stuff. I was drinking. I was like, man, I couldn't stop obsessing. I was like, I got a live stream I got to do early in the morning. I'm going to be hungover. I'm going to be tired. I'm not going to be as productive. And it's this is the thing, okay? All you have is this current moment that you're in right now. All you have is it. And you have to ask yourself, how do I feel in this very specific moment, okay? Because this is all that I have. And how do I feel right now? How do you feel? Like literally right now. Is there any problem? I don't have a problem right now. I'm sitting in a chair recording a podcast. There's nothing, there is literally nothing wrong in my life right now. But there is, because I have stuff I have to do tomorrow, and I have to wake up early, and I drank this cup of coffee. It's going to keep me up late tonight. Slow down. You're not going to bed right now. You're not doing your homework tomorrow right now. You are doing this podcast. This is the present moment, and it's really hard to feel that. But you gotta take a reality check of what is going on at this current moment in time, because time doesn't really exist. All we have is just a continuing expanse, a continuing concurrentment. That's not even a word. A continuing flow of one present moment of one, all we have is like this one just never ending experience, this flow of consciousness that for us is being observed in this way of, and we group it like, from when I started this to when I started this was this many infinite moments. But really, that doesn't exist anymore. The start of that podcast, even if you go back and listen to it, it's not going to be the same because, you are in a different situation. The world has changed and the universe has changed in some small way. So there's only like this very moment. And I get a lot of anxiety. I worry way too much. And I realized all my anxiety is a worry about the future. And it was like the most mind-blowing moment of my life. Maybe not, but it was up there. When all of a sudden, like I've been very anxious the last few months, just worrying about everything. And all I remember, I realized this not long ago, is ask yourself, how are you at this very moment? Is anything going around you wrong? Like is anything in this current present moment of me talking to you guys in this quiet room, nothing is wrong right now. There is not a single thing is wrong with this. My voice feels a little bit scratchy and I'm a little bit tired. 97% perfect. You get what I mean? What's taking away from this moment is what's to come. I'm going to be awake and I'm going to be tired. And that is all the difference in life. You're letting what's coming in the future take away from this present moment. And all you do is, this is you. This is you. This is the present moment. And you're just looking to it. You're looking to it. And you're looking to it. And you're never truly taking in the present moment. And it's easy to say, like, yeah, here I am. And your thoughts wander. It happens. It's so easy. But the thing is like, I'm at the bar and I'm worrying about tomorrow. And I'm at the bar. I can't do anything about tomorrow. All I have is now. So why don't I make the most of it, right? I could prepare for tomorrow and make sure I'm not stupid and, don't put the future me in a bad situation. But I can't control my ability to live stream tomorrow. I'm not doing the live stream tomorrow is what I should say. I'm not doing the tomorrow's live stream right now. Can't do anything about it. So I got to stop letting tomorrow's moment take me away from this moment. Take me out of what's going on right now. It's like, imagine you had 8 hours to live. You only have 8 hours to live. So like, what are you going to do? Probably a lot of that time you're going to worry. You're going to be like, you're going to be like, I guess a potential is you could, spend that entire time thinking about what's going to come in 8 hours, that you're going to die. And meanwhile, you have 8 hours. Like, you have this moment, it's not here yet. You have this moment and you're letting, this future thing take away from what's going on right now. And, it's like, you got to remind yourself, okay, this is all I have left. Like, enjoy this because it's not going to last. And that's what we do, but over a great spectrum. Like I said, imagine you have 8 hours. Imagine you have 10 minutes. 10 minutes, in 10 minutes, if this podcast ends, I'm going to die. Probably wouldn't end the podcast. But what I'm saying is, like, it's easy to let what's ever about to happen get away from this very, very instantaneous, never-ending flow of moments. That's all it is. It's a flow of moments. And, I don't know. But I let anxiety get me a lot. And I feel like I've really, like, it was just like a realization that I needed to kind of see that, wow, a lot of anxiety is just a frame of mind. It's just looking to tomorrow and forgetting about today. But the thing is, tomorrow never really comes because tomorrow is always tomorrow, right? It's the future. I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. Man, I'm turning 20. That's kind of weird. Turn 20 tomorrow, so if you want to wish me happy birthday, go for it. But it doesn't matter. It's chill either way. Do I want to end it there? I really don't have anything else to talk about. That was just kicking it old school, man. Talking about whatever the heck was on my mind. And I like that. I really do like just, this is why I started the podcast in the first place. This is why I still do it. You know, sometimes I think like, man, are my sites like noble? Am I really doing this for the right reasons? You know, I do the podcast, and I think, you know, not everybody watches the podcast, and I'm sure a lot of my subscribers will go, oh, it's Friday, Pat's not putting out like a legit video, and that's true, but doing this video once a week helps the other 6 days of the week. It helps me do better videos, I find, and more importantly, it's what I enjoy. And you know, don't get me wrong, I really like making zombies videos, but an hour of unstructured time that I know like 20,000 people are gonna watch is cooler. I can't lie, it's way cooler, and you know, that's obvious. So I don't know. For me, I really don't know, but like I said, Black Ops 3 is coming out in a week. It's been a long road, this whole YouTube thing, and I don't want it to stop now. I want to hit 1 million subscribers. I want to hit 3.4 million subscribers. I'll end it on this. Long time ago, in that same yoga class I talked about earlier, what happened? Okay, what happened? I was told to write down a letter and send it to myself for the future me. And in that letter, it was like, what, you know, like say what you want to accomplish, say what's going on in your life right now. And in that letter, like YouTube was still a big thing in my life. It's grade 11. It was 3 years ago. I was 17, about to turn 20. And to me, it was this idea of YouTube. And it was like, what do I want to accomplish? And it was like, I'm currently at 8,000 subscribers. I'd really like to hit 50,000 subscribers one day, and 100,000 subscribers is kind of the end goal. But if I'm really being honest, truly realistic, what I want, regardless of what's going to happen, I want to hit 1 million subscribers. So that at 8,000 subscribers, so like I didn't expect it to happen. It was just this thing like, you know what do I really want? Like, if you're asking the truth, but I want 1 million subscribers. And it's crazy that now here I am, like I said, with the potential to get there. I'm only 2/3 of the way there, is the thing I need to remind myself. But I think it's going to happen sometime in January. So that's November, December, January. But this is the thing. We're going to end it here. If I only look forward to hitting 1 million subscribers, I'm going to not appreciate the 700,000 subscribers, the 669.5, or probably 600, well, probably let's say 671,000 subscribers that I currently have, and I'll waste all this experience, this finite experience that I have. I'll waste this whole couple months of it thinking, you know, and I could be enjoying how many subscribers I have, but I'll just be thinking about 1 million, and then I'll get to 1 million, and am I just going to stop there? No, I'm going to set a new goal, and I'm going to be, all right, I'm happy now, but let's set a new thing, and I'm going to, you know, not appreciate 1 million and go for 1.5 million. So it's really like a thing of, that's my long-term goal, but I am so happy how many subscribers I have. If you're still watching this, you're at top 5% of a fan for sure. So yeah, that has been SmithSquad Podcast, episode 72. Didn't even have an intro, just jumped straight into it. Not gonna have an outro. Peace.